Hey everybody, welcome back. Took us a couple days to get the jets for the carburetor, but we got them now. So let's go ahead and put this thing back together. Stick around. Okay, before we get started, I always like to lay everything out and organize it. These particular carburetors, we've got 4 different sizes of screws, that's it. Long ones, medium ones, short ones, and then we got 2 smaller ones. And those little small ones actually go to hold the covers on here. Pretty simple to put one of these back together. I'm going to start with the jets. Got our secondary jets. I want to show you this. It's like I mentioned before, I always want to make sure we got a screwdriver that fits that jet real good. The width of the jet just right, fits tight in the slot. That way when we put it together or take it apart, you're not going to tear that jet up. Just snug, that's all they got to be. Tilt this back so you guys can see. Line that screwdriver in there and just snug. Same on the other side. Just snug. And then our primary jets go here. Same thing. Nice fit in the screwdriver. All you're doing is getting them snug. Just snug. Okay. We got 5 little gaskets. These 2 for the secondaries. Fit right down in there like so. Just like that. Make sure you don't have your holes covered up. Now we've got a air bleed here. Fits into this hole. Just like that. One on each side. Can't get them in there backwards, but you can get ahead of yourself like I'm doing here. Butterfly assembly. The weights needs to go in before the boosters. Just sets in like that. Make sure it moves freely. And put your boosters in. Four of the longer screws. 2 on each. Again, make sure we get screwdriver fits them nice. We don't want to tear them up. Makes things easier later. Next time you got to go in it. And again, they don't have to be real tight, just snug. Carburetors, like anything else, actually kind of a precision little device. You just don't want to over tighten things, distort your parts, cause leaks, wreck screws, strip threads. Don't want to do any of that. See, somebody wasn't real nice to that screw in the past. See, that screwdriver kind of wanted to jump out on me. But all we got to do is get them snug. Okay, next up, and we can go ahead and put our primary boosters in. The other two little gaskets are for. Gonna fit in here. Just like so. I want to make sure it sets down flush in there. If you get it upside down like I just did with that one, it won't fit right. And we can see it's nice and flush in there now. Same thing here. Got our emulsion tubes and stuff. Got to fit down in the hole. Emulsion tube and air bleed. Set her down. And 4 more of the longer screws. Just like so. Just nice and even, back and forth, till you get a nice snug on them. You can tell when you're good. Doesn't have to be real tight, just needs to be snug. And there we are. Next, remember this guy from the last video, goes right in that hole. If you forget to put that in there, your accelerator pump squirter won't work. Gasket, nozzle assembly, and that's what the 2 small screws are for. That guy right there. Snug them down. And you're done. Check valve. Nice snug fit screwdriver. That one fits a little bit better. Remember, you got fat fingers like me, sometimes it's hard to get it in the hole there. There you go. And snug it down. And that's it. Float bowl baffles go in next. just set in that groove, just like that. Push it down all the way, and that's that. Make sure it's in there right, not covering up your jets. Turn around here. Idle mixture screws. I like to run these all the way in. And since this is the secondary carb and a dual quad setup, I'm going to back it out one turn. Same on the other side. Seat it, back it out one full turn, and that'll be enough to get the engine started. Our throttle valve, I like to back the screw out all the way till we can close it. You got to do that anyway. Check this clearance right here with a feeler gauge. It should be about 40 thousandths with both sets of butterflies completely closed. And we'll run this just till we feel it touch the throttle shaft. And I'll open it up about a turn. That'll be enough to let it idle. And that about does it for the bottom, main body of the carburetor. Now we can move on to setting up our floats, needle and seat. Gasket got to go on first. Can't put it on after the floats are in place. Open up our new needle and seat from the kit. A lot of guys don't like these screens. However, they do a good job keeping crap from getting in the needle and seat. If you got enough crap in the system to plug up one of these screens, you got enough crap in the system to cause the carburetor not to work right anyways. So I always like to put the screen in there. A lot easier to fix it later. Forget a little gasket. Run her down. Again, just snug, that's all you need. Drop the needle in. There you go. Repeat on the other side. Just like that. Gasket. Get started. Go ahead and run it in place. There you go. Drop in the needle. Needle and seats are installed. Now, if you remember, when we took this apart, we had one of our float pins was giving us some fits. Didn't want to come out. See now, they slide in real nice. I'll show you. I already did it. I fixed it off camera, but I'll show you how I dressed this up real nice. Just chuck it up in a drill. Not real tight, because you don't want to bugger it up anymore. Piece of 800 grit sandpaper. Wrap it around there like so. And polish it up. That's all I did. Knock down a burr or whatever the heck was on it, causing it not to want to slide in there nice. Problem solved. So now, take our float, set it in place, set the pin in place. Our floats are installed. Now, the spec for these is 3/8 of an inch off the gasket surface here. Easiest way to check that is with this carburetor upside down like this, carburetor top. We'll slide a 3/8 drill bit under there. Come around the other side of the camera here. Maybe we can show you a little bit better. Carburetor. Hopefully you get the idea here. Hold that drill bit in there and you see that float just barely touches it. And that gives you your measurement that the float is right. Of course, you got to do it with both of them. And actually, looks like this one's just a little bit off. I'll show you how we adjust that. You do not want to put pressure on that new needle because you'll mess up the tip on it. It probably won't seal. Just get a hold of the float there, the needle nose. Just give her a little push. Check it again. See, we went too much. So now we got to go back the other way. Same thing. This time we'll pull up on it a little bit. Still not enough. We're still touching the float. Get your float level too high, fuel will run over and it'll flood the engine. Fuel level too low and it'll starve for fuel. So this adjustment's pretty critical. Man, this camera just does not like this Arizona heat. Yeah, these parts here, they're actually intended for a marine carburetor, but I like to use them on anything where the engine is out in the open. This little seal goes in here for the accelerator pump. Keep any moisture from finding its way in. Just press in our little retainer here. Well, come on, you. So even though this ain't going on a boat, it is going in a rat rod. Might see some moisture. That'll keep it out. It'll help keep it out. The old pump was just too far gone to repair, so that was something else we had to wait a couple days on. Had to get a couple of new accelerator pump assemblies. You see that fits nice in that rubber seal there. Keep any moisture out. At this point, we can go ahead give her just a little bit of lube on that seal too, so we don't damage that lip going in. Set the top on the carburetor. And we're just about done with this dude. Looks like a carburetor again, don't it? Take our 8 medium length screws. Show you where they go here. Around the outer perimeter of the carburetor. Just like this. And your remaining 2 longer ones go right in the center, front, and rear of the air horn. Same old story, just snug them down. Wait a minute, I messed up. Before you drop that top on there, a return spring for the accelerator pump. That'll cause you all kinds of trouble if you forget that. And now we can go ahead and tighten her down. That's better. Make sure pump operates. Kind of like to go on a crisscross pattern, like anything, like you would with lug nuts or any of that, just so you know it's getting drawn down nice and even. Less risk of warping the top or the main body that way. Now we've got them just about all run down. One left. And we just go around the circle. Double check them all. Again, just snug. Don't need to be super tight. Gaskets will swell when they get in the fuel. If everything's flat like it should be, you won't have any trouble whatsoever. There we go. Now we can go about putting our pump lever back on. Remember the little clip? There we go. Kit came with a few, so we'll go ahead and use a new one. Carburetor on his back here so you guys can see what the heck I'm doing. Rod goes in there like so. Yeah. Needle nose pliers will help you out here. Get it locked in the groove, and there we have it. Next, we're gonna need our lever. And our S-clip. Get our screw. S-clip goes in there like that. Pump lever. Screw back in the body. Snug her down. There we go. And since this is a 500, I'm going to go with a base setting, second hole. Something don't look quite right here. Oh, yeah, no, we're fine. Didn't look right because I had the throttle part way open. We're good. Second hole. And that's a good starting point. Last bit here, metering rods and pistons. The springs will likely get changed once the engine's done. But this is just the stock spring. For now, I'll probably end up putting about a 5-inch vacuum spring in it based on the cam that's going in the engine. But we'll leave that for the day the engine gets fired. Unfortunately, it's probably a little ways down the road yet. Part supply, backed up machine shops and everything else. But I did get a phone call today. He's making progress on the cylinder heads. The crank has been reground and I did get the bearings. So that's a bonus. I finish up the cylinder heads and get the rotating assembly balanced, and knock on wood, the sonic check on the block turns out okay. We can go ahead and start getting that reassembled. Get this car put back together and burn some rubber, make some noise, have some fun. One more piece. Can't forget our fuel inlet. Go ahead and throw a new washer on it. There we go. Rebuilt AFB. Well, there you go, guys. Pretty simple job. Takes longer to get it clean, let it soak, all that good stuff, than it really does put it back together. End up with a snag like we did and needed to special order a couple other parts that usually that kind of stuff's in stock. Just wasn't this time around. Go figure, right? Hope you guys learned something from that. We'll see you next time.